क्या करते हैं?
Assistant section engineer.
ज्ञान किया सादा वाला नाता
जी
उसके बाद Vande Guru Shri Charanarvindam Mahaprabhu Kirtanatya Gita Vaditamatyan Manasura Senam Romanchakam Shutaranga Bhadu Vande Guru Shri Charanarvindam Shri Charadhanityanana Shringaradhan Mandirmanjana Nikashabhakansha Niyungatopi Vande Guru Shri Charanarvindam Sadhuvitashi Bhagavad Prasada Swaranateta Haribhakta Shana Kripneva Kritim Bhajita Sadaiva Vande Guru Shri Charanarvindam Shri Radhika Madhavyodapada Madhurya Lila Gurupanamna Pratikshana Swadhana Lolupasya Vande Guru Shri Charanarvindam Nikunja Yunarati Nishite Jayali Biro Tiripikshaniya Tatrati Dakshat Ativallabhasya Vande Guru Shri Charanarvindam Satyadaritvena Samasta Sastre Uktastata Bhavyataiva Santi Kintu Prabhurya Priyaiva Tasya Vande Guru Shri Charanarvindam Yasya Prasadat Bhagavat Prasado Yasya Prasada Nagati Kutopi Dhyanan Sasya Yasya Trishandhyam Vande Guru Shri Charanarvindam 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 Jaya 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 Prabhupada 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 Srila Prabhupada Namaste. Namaste Narashinga Hiranyakashi Urvakshata Siladanganakalare Ito Narshinga Parito Narshingo Yato Yato Yami Tato Narshinga Bahir Narshingo Hitaye Narshingo Narashinghamadim Sharanam Prapade Tavakara Kamalavare Makam Adbhuta Shringam Dalita Hiranyakashipu Tanubhingam Keshavadrita Harirupa Jaya Jagadish Hare Jaya Jagadish Hare Jaya Jagadish Hare Jaya Narshingadev Jaya Narshingadev Narshingadev Jaya Narahari Jaya Prahlad Maharaj Jaya Prahlad Maharaj Prahlad Maharaj Jaya Prahlad Maharaj Namaste Narasimhaya Prahlad Prahlad Hiranyakashipu Shiladankanakalaye Ito Narsingha Parito Narsingho Yato Yato Yami Tato Narsingha Bahir Narsingho Hridaye Narsingho Narasingamadim Sharanam Prapade Tankara Kamalavare Nakam Adbhuta Shringa Dalita Hiranyakashipu Tanu Bringam Keshavadrita Narari Rupa Jai Jagadish Hare Jaya Jagadish Hare Jaya Jagadish Hare Jaya Narshingadev Jaya Narshingadev Narshingadev Jaya Narahari Jaya Prahlad Maharaj Jaya Prahlad Maharaj Prahlad Maharaj Jaya Prahlad Maharaj Shri Prahlad Nrsimhadev Bhagwan ki Vrindaya Tulsi Devyaya Priyaya Keshwasya Krishna Bhakti Devi Shatvati Namo Namah Vrindaya Tulsi Devyaya Priyaya Keshwasya Krishna Bhakti Devi Shatvati Namo Namah Vrindaya Tulsi Devyaya Priyaya Keshwasya Krishna Bhakti Devi Satyavati Namo Shri Krishna Prabhupada Vrinde Devi Tulsi Maharani ki jai. Namo Namaha Tulasi Krishna Prayasi Namo Namaha Radha Krishna Seva Pavo Yahi Abhilasi Ye Tamara Saranalai Taranjana निराकारी करो तारे वृंदावनवासी मोर यही अभिलाष विलास कुंज दियो वास नयन हेरिबो सदा युगल रूप राशि हे निवेदन दर सखीरानुगत कर सेवाधिकार दिए कर निज दासी दीन कृष्ण दासे को है एन मोर होए श्री राधा गोविंद प्रेम सदाय नबासी श्री राधा गोविंद प्रेम सदाय नबासी तुलसी कृष्ण प्रेयसी नमो नमः यानि कानि च पापानि ब्रह्मत्यादिकानि च तानि तानि प्रणश्यन्ति प्रदक्षिण पदे पदे यानि कानि च पापानि ब्रह्मत्यादिकानि च तानि तानि प्रणश्यन्ति प्रदक्षिण पदे पदे यानि कानि च पापानि ब्रह्मत्यादिकानि च तानि तानि प्रणश्यन्ति प्रदक्षिण पदे पदे Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Tulsi Maharani Jaya Tulsi Maharani Tulsi Maharani Jaya Vrindaye Devi Vrindaye Tulsi Devyay Priyay Keshwasya Cha Krishna Bhakti Pratidevi Satvate Namo Namah Vrindaye Tulsi Devyay Priyay Keshwasya Cha Krishna Bhakti Pratidevi Satyavate Namo Namah Vrindaye Tulsi Devyay Priyay Keshwasya Cha Krishna Bhakti Pratidevi Satyavate Namo Namah Shri Krishna Prem Pradhane Vrinde Devi Tulsi Maharani Ki Jai
गाते समय क्या पढ़ के गा रहे थे कि मैं जीवानी
गुरु महाराज जी कुछ मैं ये कर रहा था देख भी रहा था वैसे मैं
थोड़ा याद रखना चाहिए
इस गुरु महाराज जी
टूथब्रश जल्दी वाला है
Damodar Leela. Akarshyati iti Krishna. Sri Krishna is all attractive. The scriptures describe that Lord Brahma has 50 qualities. Each and every living entity possesses a part of these 50 qualities of Brahma. Lord Shiva has 5 more qualities than Brahma, giving him a total of 55 qualities. Lord Narayana has 5 more qualities than Lord Shiva. But Lord Sri Krishna is supreme, having extra 4 qualities that are unique only to him. These 4 qualities are Rupa Madhuri, Leela Madhuri, Venu Madhuri, and Prema Priyadhikya. Lord Sri Krishna is most famous for his incredibly sweet pastimes. In fact, Lord Sri Krishna displays unlimited nectarian pastimes which attract every living entity. He is so beautiful that he becomes attracted by his own beauty. His beauty has thus been described as Atma Prayatnata Sarvachithara, which means he is so attractive that he attracts the hearts of everybody, including even his own heart. Among the unlimited pastimes of Lord Sri Krishna, his Damabandhana pastime is very unique. Srila Sukdev Goswami has described
How expensive it was. I didn't want to like take any penalty.
Srila Sukdev Goswami has described these pastimes in Srimad Bhagavatam in great ecstasy, and many Gaurya Acharyas have given a variety of beautiful purports on this description. The following article has been prepared on this Dam Bandhan pastime based on the description in
Underline down, but then
Srimad Bhagavatam, the commentary of Srila Thakur, the commentary of Srila Jiva Goswami from the description in Gopal Champu. In Srimad Bhagavatam, Srila Sukadeva Goswami begins his descriptions of the pastime of binding Krishna by Mother Yashoda by using the first word Ekada. Ekada Griha Dasesu Yashodananda Devi. In Sanskrit, Da means it is used in words like Sarvada, Ekada, Yada, Kada. Ekada means at one time, Yada means at some time, Kada means at which time, and Sarvada means at all times. As mentioned, Ekada means at one time or once upon a time. But when is this? Once upon a time. This pastime of Lord Krishna took place when he was in Gokula Mahavan. We know that Lord Sri Krishna appeared in Gokula Mahavan as the son of Mother Yashoda in the house of Nanda Maharaj. According to Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti, Sri Krishna remained there in Gokula for 3 years and 4 months. Following this period, Nanda Baba moved to a place on the western bank of the Yamuna called
underline 3 years old.
western bank of Yamuna called Katikara in Vrindavan. Again, the Lord stayed there for 3 years and 4 months. From there, Nand Baba moved to Deep, then Kamyavan, and finally settled at Nandagram. During his stay at these various places, the Lord exhibited many wonderful pastimes. These particular pastimes took place while the Lord was in Gokul Mahavan before he was 3 years and 4 months old. After this pastime, Nand Baba, along with Sri Krishna and their associates, left Gokul Mahavan. This pastime took place during the month of Kartika also known as the Damodar month. The day was Deepavali Amavasya day, just before the day of Govardhan Puja. Of course, at that time, Govardhan Puja had not yet been introduced. The Brajvasis were holding a big festival to worship Indradev. Everyone, including all the servants of the house, was engaged in preparing for that Indra Puja festival. All the gopis were preparing the huge amount of butter needed for this festival. On this day, in the early morning, the joyful mother Yashoda saw that Krishna was sleeping with closed eyes, which were as beautiful as blue lotuses. Caressing him gently with her hand as he lay on the bed, she let him sleep. Slowly, leaving his bedside, she left the room. Quickly, tying up her cloth to engage in the morning household chores, which started with churning yogurt. On that day, Rohini mounted a chariot with Balram and went to the house of Upanand, having received a special invitation. Mother Yashoda engaged herself in churning buttermilk for her darling Krishna. Her love for Krishna was so great that she could not bear the thought of her maidservant making butter for her dearest son. This was a service that only she could perform out of her deep affection for Krishna. She was also thinking, my son is always stealing butter from the houses of the other gopis. Therefore, I must make such tasty butter that after eating the butter at home, he will surely stop his stealing. If the taste of my butter is supreme, then the butter at the other houses will seem bland and tasteless. The third reason that Mother Yasoda had for wanting to make the butter herself was that she would offer it to Lord Narayana for the well-being of her beloved child. Mother Yashoda.
Read in 1, 2, 3 again.
Mother Yashoda is Ashraya or the shelter of Prem, and Sri Krishna is Visaya or the object of Prem. Mother Yashoda is the epitome of the parental loving relationship. Her name is Yasoda because she gave Yash, fame to Krishna. What fame? Krishna is famous for being controlled by his devotees. This he proved to everyone by allowing his mother to bind him with a rope around his belly. Da means giver. Yasha means fame. Mother Yashoda was the or fame to Krishna. Therefore, her name is Yashoda. In her unique love for Krishna, she displayed the most wonderful parental loving mellows. Mother Yashoda was expert in making butter. She began churning butter with great attention from very early in the morning, while Sri Krishna was still fast asleep inside the room. Mother Yashoda understood perfectly that she must churn the butter in the early morning because once Krishna was awake, he would certainly disturb the process. Mother Yashoda was therefore churning butter in the courtyard while Sri Krishna was sleeping, and thus she was not able to see Krishna. She was not able to see the beautiful face of Krishna and was feeling great separation from her dear son. In order to mitigate that feeling of separation, Mother Yashoda was meditating on the various pastimes of Krishna and reciting sweet songs describing the pastimes which he had already exhibited. These songs had been composed by herself and the other ladies of Gokula. Mother Yashoda sang, O Tilak of the family of Nanda, you are living in Brazil, since the people have performed hundreds of pious acts. You have given them great happiness. By witnessing your activities, the eyes become joyful. By the great festival arising from this bliss, you give bliss to all the cowherds. O King of Gokula, filled with the auspicious action of killing Putna. You engaged in auspicious acts after overturning the cart, which destroyed the steadiness of our hearts. The Supreme Lord has brought you back after he killed the whirlwind demon. You crawl about in the beautiful yard, lotus eyed child. You are the greatest pity. You show the greatest skill at dancing and playing. You appear most attractive when you hold onto the calf's tail. You show false greeting, arguing for the fun with the elders. O Krishna, always give happiness to me, your mother. Stay in this house always. Please reveal your playful antics and quickly grow. You exhibited the potency of the Lord, causing astonishment in showing the universe within you. May your body remain without old age and death and become the cause of joy by worshipping the Lord. Her earrings shook and jingled harmoniously. Then her ankle bells and the golden belt around her waist also joined in, creating a beautiful melodious sound. It was as if an expert kartal player was playing. As she was churning the yogurt, the churning rod went ghadad, 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 sounding like an expert mridang player. In this way, Mother Yashoda had full musical accompaniment as she continued to sing about Krishna glorious by the great fortune of Yashoda and being very affectionate to her. Describe the beauty of Yashoda while she was churning butter. Those devotees who worship Krishna in parental loving relationship try to remember or meditate on this form of Yashoda while she churned butter. She is the person most qualified to be the mother of Krishna, being the epitome of parental loving relationship due to her high level of parental love, her qualities and form. Srila Sukadev describes the beauty of her body, of her dress, and the beauty of the movements of her body while she churned butter for Krishna with so much love and affection. She was a Shubhra, having beautiful eyebrows, and Prithu Katita, which means her waist was broad. She was wearing a very finely woven yellow sari made of fabric prepared from the fiber of the Akshi tree. This tree is well known for producing an extremely fine thread. Her bodily color was syama, dark. Around her waist, she wore a piece of cloth called mekhala. The bracelets on her wrists moved side to side, and her earrings swayed as she expertly churned butter for the Lord. Her eyebrows shifted expressively, reflecting her happiness due to the labor of churning butter. Beads of perspiration decorated her face, and malti flowers fell to the ground from her head. In this way, she was nirmamantha, churning the yogurt. Her hands and body were engaged in this intensive labor, parishrama, to make the makhan butter. Her tongue was singing the glories and pastimes of Krishna. Her ears were engaged in hearing those songs, and her mind was remembering and meditating on how she would make the makhan to feed Krishna. This is the state of a perfect devotee, fully engaging mind, body, and intelligence in the service of Krishna. As Mother Yashoda was thus engaged in churning yogurt, Krishna woke up from his sleep. On this day, Krishna woke up early.
Go back one, two paragraph. Read again.
The Lord was
अरे बड़का
hungry. Here, the question arises, how can Param Brahm, who is Atmaram or self-satisfied, be hungry? Parabrahma is supposed to be self-satisfied. But here, the Lord felt hungry and desired to drink milk from Mother Yashoda. This hunger was not like the hunger of ordinary people. This hunger was the hunger for love. This hunger was manifested within the Lord as an expression of parental loving relationship. The Lord wanted to give pleasure to Mother Yashoda. Mother Yashoda enjoyed seeing her baby approaching her with a desire to drink milk. To indicate his great desire to drink her milk, the Lord was sobbing as he made his way towards Yashoda, who was engaged
Oh,
in
my
churning yogurt. He then caught hold of the churning rod and stopped his mother from churning yogurt, expressing his desire. Oh mother, please stop churning yogurt now and feed me milk. One Acharya has given his realization as to why Krishna stopped the churning. He stopped this churning to tell his mother all the Jnanis are constantly reading and analyzing the scriptures, trying to extract the essence, just churning, churning, and churning. At last, they may approach me, for it is I who am the conclusion of all the scriptures. Oh, my dear mother, you are already with me. So, what is the use of all this churning? We can analyze the Upanishad, the Vedas, the Purana, and the other Vedic scriptures. But what is their final conclusion? All the scriptures conclude that attaining Krishna is the highest goal of life, that Krishna is the son of Mother Yashoda. Why then would she have to do any churning? Why was she doing this unnecessary labor? For this reason, Krishna stopped his mother from churning the yogurt. Mother Yashoda was pleased to see how her son had become so strong and intelligent that he was trying to stop her by holding the churning rod. This increased her meditation on the qualities of Krishna and captured her mind. Just by seeing Krishna approaching her, torrents of milk began to flow from her breast due to her extreme parental love. In his eagerness, Krishna climbed onto the lap of Yashoda before she could pick him up. Krishna did not need to be invited onto the lap of Mother Yashoda, as the lap of Yashoda was Krishna's own property. He also became very proud of himself. He thought to himself, how smart I am. I stopped mother from her work and claimed my right. Thinking in this way, he smiled continuously, making his chubby cheeks more adorable. After climbing onto his mother's lap, Krishna began drinking the milk from her breast,
Bible.
Yeah.
which poured forth in excess due to her deep affection. Indeed, there was no need for Krishna to suck the breast of Mother Yashoda, as her milk flowed so freely. Krishna was certainly fortunate, as he could not consume the volume of milk produced by the love of his mother. When the milk flowed from Yashoda like monsoon rains, Krishna was like a chatak bird drinking those showers. Milk was overflowing from his mouth and onto his cheeks. Mother Yashoda happily fed her dear son in this way while absorbed in meditation on the beautiful blue face of the Lord, decorated with attractive white rivulets of her milk. As Krishna drank Mother Yashoda's breast milk, a transcendental competition began. Krishna's belly would not become satisfied, and Mother Yashoda's milk could not stop flowing due to her intense affection. The milk was endeavoring to completely satisfy Krishna, but Krishna can never be satiated with any amount of prema. So the milk continued to flow and Krishna continued to drink. In this way, she continued feeding him for a good long while, again becoming fully engrossed and losing all sense of time. The stop for heating the milk was not far from Mother Yashoda, and she suddenly realized that the milk was boiling over and falling into the fire. In her desire to prevent the fire from consuming the pot of precious milk, Mother Yashoda placed Krishna on the ground and quickly ran to the stove. She wasn't able to carry Krishna as she had to move extremely fast and feared dropping her darling son, who had not finished drinking her milk and was certainly not yet satisfied. One may question, how can Mother Yashoda leave Krishna like this, depriving him of her milk? Yashoda is the epitome of Vatsalya Rasa. Her love for Krishna knows no limits. She is the spotless example of love for her child. However, she still left him just to save a little milk. Was there a lack of milk in her house? Nand Maharaj had 9 lakh cows. They must have given so much milk just to save a little milk on the stove. How could Mother Yashoda leave her most darling child on the ground, causing him so much distress? She felt Krishna to save the milk because this milk was very special and meant for the service of Krishna. Yasoda loved Krishna so much that she would select special cows from the herds and take care of them personally, feeding them the best grasses to produce the sweetest milk. Yashoda would personally milk those cows and carefully boil and milk to feed Krishna. Her worry was that if this milk was spoiled, then what would her beloved Krishna drink? Having this higher principle of serving Krishna in mind, Mother Yashoda made the difficult decision to leave him on the ground even before he had finished relishing her milk. In this regard, Gopal Champu describes his parents thought, "This is my sons," and from the birth had possessiveness with complete disregard for their own bodies and house. Brahma has said the following concerning all the people of Braj, what to speak of Lord Krishna's parents. So what is the left for you to give these devotees of Vrindavan, whose homes, wealth, friends, dear relations, bodies, children, and very lives and hearts are all dedicated only to you? Since the milk and yogurt were for Krishna, they were even more attractive than Krishna. This is the special nature of her love. This was her way of thinking. Enduring great difficulty, she was not aware of her household chores that should be done. She thought more of Krishna as her son than her body and house. Making Krishna the object of her compassion, she thought that her duty was to serve Krishna. Krishna also understood that her scolding and punishment were her show of affection. What more can be said of her affectionate caring for him? On this point, our acharyas have made a comparison between Mustik and Chanur and Mother Yashoda. Mustik and Chanur fought with Krishna, who, being the Supreme Personality of Godhead, was simply enjoying wrestling with them. Thus, Mustik and Chanur were giving the pleasure of wrestling to the Lord by fighting with him. On the other hand, Mother Yashoda made the Lord dissatisfied and angry by leaving him on the ground and depriving him of her milk. It appears that Mustik and Chanur were pleasing the Lord and Mother Yashoda was upsetting the Lord. How is it then that Mother Yashoda is a great devotee and Mustik and Chanur were great demons? The reason is the Lord is always in place. As Param Brahma, he is Anandam Brahma. He is Anandamayo Bhasya. He is ever blissful. He is Aptakama and thus ever satisfied. He never feels any pain or dissatisfaction. Even when Mustik and Chanur were punching him, the Lord was feeling pleasure. Similarly, when the Lord appeared in his tortoise form, the demons and demigods placed the Mandar mountains on his back to churn the milk ocean. It appears as though this would have been a great endeavor for the Lord, but it was actually effortless for him. The Lord was enjoying holding this great mountain and felt a pleasurable scratching sensation as the demigods and demons churned the milk ocean by rotating the huge mountain on his back. Similarly, the punching of these two demons gave pleasure to the Lord in the form of wrestling. Whatever one does to the Lord, he simply enjoys. For him, there is no suffering. He is Anandam Brahma, Anandamayo Bhasya, Keval Ananda Kanda. What is the most important in one interaction with the Lord is one's consciousness. Although Mustik and Chanur were giving pleasure to the Lord by wrestling with him, they were still demons due to their acting with demonic consciousness. Their motive was not to give pleasure to the Lord, but rather to cause him harm, reflecting an unfavorable mood or pratikul bhava. On the other hand, Mother Yashoda's act of leaving the Lord on the ground, depriving him of drinking milk and making him angry was done with a favorable mood and service attitude. Mother Yashoda ran to save the milk because it was very special milk meant for Krishna to drink. There was a higher purpose in a favorable mood of serving Krishna. Mother Yashoda was thinking, if that milk is required, then what will my baby Krishna drink? Thus, she had great concern for the Lord, and her favorable mood was expressed in this way. As the Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu says, Akul Anukulen Krishna Anusilanam Bhaktir Uttama. Krishna is Bhavgrahi Janardana. He accepts the bhav or mood of the devotees. Thus, even if outwardly it looks like Krishna was dissatisfied and angry, still in truth he was pleased and enjoyed the parental loving relationship. When Mother Yashoda went to take the milk off the fire, she spoke to Krishna in joy. I worship you with Artika, but for a moment, please protect the churning pot. After taking care of the milk, I will come as quickly as I can. The milk overflowing from the breast of Mother Yashoda soaked through her cloth and sprinkled the floor as she ran to save the milk on the stove. Srila Jiva Goswami had justified the act of Mother Yashoda leaving Krishna on the ground and running to save a little milk on the stove, stating that it in no way reflects a listening of her affection for Krishna. The question may arise that Nand Maharaj had so many cows, she had so much milk, why then should she run to save a little milk which was put on the stove and overflowing? Is her saving milk more important than feeding Krishna? What kind of affection does she have for Krishna? Jiva Goswami explains, whatever wealth Nand and Yashoda had, their main wealth was cows and cow products, was meant for Krishna. Yashoda would think, my baby son does not know how to protect wealth. I have to do it for him. The father and mother sometimes do something to their son which apparently causes him some distress, but which is actually beneficial for his future. Parents always work hard, tolerating the apparent suffering of their son for his future well-being. It is very well known fact that parents feed better medicine to their children for their health, even though the children may not like it. In a similar way, parents also chastise their children in order to teach them the lesson they need to learn for their future. This kind of parenting, loving mood of the father and mother is sometimes very difficult to understand. Being a cowherd woman, Mother Yashoda's wealth was in cow products such as milk, yogurt, and ghee. She was thinking, my little boy does not know how to protect all these products. I must do it personally for his welfare. In this way, there was no mistake or deficit of affection when Mother Yashoda left Krishna on the ground and ran. The following point has been made by various acharyas in our line to explain the reason the milk would overflow and fall into the fire. The external reason could be that the milk was overflowing due to excessive heat, but still there is another internal reason which is as follows. The milk on the stove was watching Lord Krishna drinking milk from Mother Yashoda. The milk became very worried, thinking if the Lord drinks too much milk from his mother, then what will happen to me? What will be the use of my life? If I cannot serve the Lord, then better I commit suicide. With such thoughts in its mind, the milk started to overflow and enter the fire to commit suicide. But as Mother Yashoda ran to save that special milk, the milk, out of shame, stopped boiling over and resumed its normal state. The milk now started to think that it had committed a great offense by interrupting the loving exchange between Mother Yashoda and Krishna. The milk feeded itself. What have I done? Mother Yashoda was so happy and joyful with Krishna, and I invaded her devotional service. I am an offender. As everything in the spiritual world is alive and conscious, it is quite possible for milk to feel and think in this way. Once, Srila Prabhupada told a story about Mother Yashoda cooking rice in the spiritual world. She put the rice into a pot and placed it on the stove to cook. She then went to the courtyard outside to do some other work. This is the normal practice for ladies in India, and they will return to the kitchen from time to time to check the rice by placing one grain between their fingers to see if it is cooked. In the spiritual world, however, there is no need for Mother Yashoda to come to the kitchen from time to time to check if the rice is cooked. Even if she is in another part of the house or courtyard, far away from the kitchen, she will simply speak to the rice from there. Oh rice, are you cooked? Upon hearing the question, the rice will reply, saying whether or not it is cooked. Thus, when Krishna was left behind on the floor by his mother, he was deprived of drinking her milk, not yet fully satisfied. Being left in this state of dissatisfaction, Krishna became very angry. The white moons of his teeth became red like his lips. His eyes, like chakor birds, became filled with tears. With his two lotus hands, he destroyed the yogurt pot, showing his strength. Here, we must note that Krishna is becoming dissatisfied and angry. Neither dissatisfaction nor anger are supposed to be present in Param Brahma. Param Brahma or God is Aptakama or ever satisfied, as he has everything in his possession and does not lack anything. How can he feel dissatisfied? Since God is ever satisfied, surely this is an anomaly. He also become very angry. How can God become angry? Anger arises from the mode of passion. Kamesha, Krodesha, Rajoguna, Samuddhava, Mahashanu, Mahapapam, Vidyaenam, Varinam. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, it is lust only, Arjuna, which is born of contact with the material mode of passion and later transformed into the red, and which is the all-devouring sinful enemy of this world. Bhagavad Gita 3.37. Calm and growth or lust and anger arise from the mode of passion. God is not influenced by the three modes of material nature. He is Trigunati or Nirguna. How then can Krishna, if he is God, be influenced by the mode of passion and become angry? Our acharyas have explained that Krishna's dissatisfaction and anger are not material. Although he has everything and there is no question of him becoming dissatisfied, he exhibits his dissatisfaction only to reciprocate with the loving mood of his mother. Krishna picked up a stone used for grinding spices and, while beating his lip due to excessive anger, broke the pot in which his mother was churning butter. After breaking the pot, he began shedding false tears and left the place. Here, Krishna exhibited the mood of anger to reciprocate with Mother Yashoda's parental love. Krishna's anger was actually meant to please his mother. Srila Jiva Goswami explains that Sri Krishna was not just pretending to be angry, his anger arose from the core of his heart. He manifested his internal feeling in a very solitary place inside the house of his mother. As there is no one else present there, we can conclude that Lord revealed his real feelings. He was not performing a drama or acting. For what would be the need if there were no audience? The Lord manifested such intense emotions in reciprocation with the equally intense parental affection of his mother. This kind of pastimes cannot take place anywhere else except in the courtyard of Mother Yashoda. Krishna shed tears, which have been described as marashru or false tears by some people, Actually, Krishna's tears are amarasastu or genius tears. Srila Jeev Goswami gives the explanation that because intelligent people know that Krishna is God, they conclude that his tears are false. This may be true on some occasions. In this case, the Lord's tears were genuine due to his being deprived of drinking milk to his full satisfaction. Krishna was very clever. While breaking the pot, he was very careful and quiet. He took a small stone used for grinding and hit the pot on its bottom without making a sound. Through the hole in the pot, all the yogurt began flowing out on the ground. Krishna saw this and became fearful of consequent punishment. To avoid the wrath of his mother, the Lord quickly left the scene of the crime and fled to a solitary room to hide. Krishna skillfully loosened the bolt of the door to enter the storeroom. He then climbed on the wooden bed to reach a pot of butter which was kept hanging from the ceiling. The Lord then stole the butter and fled unseen. After subduing the milk which was overflowing from the pot, Mother Yashoda came back to the pot where she was churning butter. To her surprise, she saw that the pot was broken and the contents spilled all over the floor. She could easily understand that this must be the work of none other than her son Krishna, because she knew very well how naughty her son was. She realized that because she had left Krishna unsatisfied, he must have done this due to his anger. She might have thought that the pot had been broken by a monkey, but when she saw the intelligent way in which the pot was broken, as well as the fact that Krishna was not there, she was convinced that Krishna was the culprit. The cleverness of the boy in breaking the pot so quietly and his running away from there out of fear so carefully that the sound of the bangles adorning his wrist were not heard was enough evidence for Mother Yashoda. A soft smile came to her lips and she touched her forefinger to her nose. Although Mother Yashoda was worried at first, a message from the sky caused her to smile. The voice from the sky said, "The baby bee, being very thirsty, has not been fully satisfied with honey, and thus broken the lotus bird. On breaking the lotus and seeing only contents flow out without honey, the bee has gone to another lotus and obtained honey. Moreover, you have shown skill on the taking the milk off the fire, but you will be praised more for your ability to pacify the anger of your son." Hearing this, she smiled and she looked at his footprints of buttermilk, which indicated the direction of his escape. Sri Krishna was sitting in the cross-legged position on top of grinding mortar, which was kept upside down to protect it from the crows. Krishna was taking butter from a pot, eating some butter, and also feeding some to the monkeys. It is common for a small child to retaliate against his parents in some way. If he feels offended or hurt by them, Krishna perfectly displayed this propensity by destroying the churning pot and spoiling the butter. Since this was not satisfying enough for him, he went on to distribute butter to the monkeys to really teach his mother a lesson. Even though there was a fresh makhan being made for him, Krishna started as if to eat the previous day's makhan. As he was doing so, he began thinking to himself, "I will eat this makhan and get sick. You will have to take me out of Braj to a hospital in Mathura, where you will have to spend lots of money and take care of me. I will show you, then you will see, then you will be sorry." Krishna had left the scene of the broken
लगा से कोई पानी तो बात नहीं
Krishna had left the scene of the broken churning pot very quietly and carefully, thinking that Mother Yashoda would not be able to find him. However, despite the precautions a thief may take in order to remain undetected, he normally leaves some clues. Krishna unknowingly left some evidence which pointed to his whereabouts. When Krishna was walking away from the place where he had broken the churning pot, he inadvertently stepped in some of the spilled butter, leaving telltale footprints indicating the direction he had taken. Moreover, Mother Yashoda was able to hear the sound of Krishna's ankle veins and the sound of butter.
I want to stop now. Thank you. You did a good job. Now call the base later.
Ladus Siman Grit, please.
We are working on it.
Yes, Guru Maharaj.
Where do you work?
In Delhi Metro.
Okay. Delhi Metro. Delhi Metro.
Yes, Guru Maharaj. Assistant section engineer.
Favorite time, yes. Time, yes.
So,
Sato. You know sometimes again, fine.
संसार में फास्ट में
तृणाय कारुण्य गण गणकं प्राप्तश कल्याण गुणार्णवस्य वन्दे गुरु श्री चरण रविन्दं महाप्रभु कीर्तन नृत्य गीत वादित्रमाद्यान् मनसोरसेन रोमाञ्चकं पाशुतरङ्गभाजो वन्दे गुरु श्री चरण रविन्दं श्री विग्रहाराधन नित्यान श्रृंगारतान् मन्दिरमजनादो युक्तश भक्तान् शनियुञ्जतोऽपि वन्दे गुरु श्री चरण रविन्दं चतुर्विधा श्री भगवत् प्रसाद स्वादन तृप्तान् हरिभक्तशाङ्गान् कृत्वैव तृप्तिं भजत सदैव वन्दे गुरु श्री चरण रविन्दं श्री राधिका माधवयोरपार माधुर्यलीला गुणरूपनाम्नां प्रतिक्षणा स्वादनलोलुपस्य वन्दे गुरु श्री चरण रविन्दं निकुञ्जयूनो रतिगलसिद्धे यायालिभिरुक्तिरपि तत्रातिदाक्षाततिवल्लभय वन्दे गुरु श्री चरण रविन्दं साक्षात्तरित्वेण समस्तशास्त्रे उक्तस्तथा भाव्यत एव शाब्दी किन्तु प्रभुर्य प्रिय एव तस्य वन्दे गुरु श्री चरण रविन्दं यस्य प्रसादात् भगवत् प्रसादो यस्य प्रसादात् न गति कुतोऽपि ध्यायस्तु वांसस्य यशात्रिशाङ्गं वन्दे गुरु श्री चरण रविन्दं 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 नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत
स्वामीति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यादिशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरा भक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे
Every Monday I come to serve Puja. Every Monday is my rest day. Every Monday I came here to serve Guru Nazi as his sister Ratu told me and go on this day to serve Guru Nazi.
समझ नहीं पा रहा जाऊँ नहीं जाऊँ
जय श्री श्री गौर निताई की जय। कृष्ण बलराम देव, लक्ष्मी नरसिंह देव, प्रहलाद नरसिंह देव भगवान की जय। उग्र नरसिंह देव भगवान, कृष्ण गिरिराज महाराज की जय। गुरु भगवान के कृष्णा दामोदर शिला की जय। अनंत शिला की जय। नित्य गौर हरि प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि।